And we are starting off our second live stream of the night, our 2.5, with Jeremy laughing. So joining me is Jeremy and Matt Wilkins.
I'm laughing because I introduced Matt to a new animated series that I think is utter garbage. It looks like trash.
Yeah, Matt Wilkins joined me. I sent him an invite, but he joined me after I ended the last live stream. So we're going to do a sequel to my live stream. So thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. We were talking about backstage the DC EU and like our favorite Marvel shows and DC shows like Batman the Animated Series and everything. So Jeremy introduced Matt Wilkins to Static Shock. That's what you were showing him.
I was showing the Zeta project, but he didn't realize Static Shock was part of it either. Of the Tim Seeley, I think, is the creator of all of that.
So it went 4 seasons.
Static Shock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. It got better as it went. Like it tied in more with like Batman the Animated Series. I remember like I think a 2-parter where it's like you know what? I think there's a Batman Beyond tie-in as well as a Batman the Animated Series tie-in. I think there's a time travel episode near the end.
Yeah, there's a tie-in. I remember there's like one in Justice League Unlimited too, I think. So that way, Matt, I just gotta say I love the view of your board games and everything. That's a lot of board games.
Yeah,
Matt, that is a lot more than last time I was over.
Oh yeah, like I bought this shelf last year,
and it's full. Dude, I remember when you could see that wall.
I remember you see all the walls. Some of my old videos where the walls are all white.
Have you had to move some of your autographs?
No, they're still up there.
No, one of my favorite of your autograph stories, Matt, was you sent a letter to Mark Hamill and he sent you a signed photo.
There it is.
That one right there.
And Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher, you can't see her, but she's right over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's blocked, but yeah, that was back in the mid '90s.
It would have had to have been, yeah.
Comic cons weren't going along. I mean, the prequels were not announced yet. They weren't even you didn't even know. The books had kind of they'd gotten off the ground. The books were going pretty high, and so I just wrote Hamill. Hamill was probably working on what, Batman?
Probably, yeah. If not, you know what else he could have been working on was. Are you familiar with the game console, the 3DO, Matt? Do you remember those?
Oh, he did do.
He was in Wing Commander 3 with Commander.
Yeah, he could have been doing that. So he wasn't doing as much. I don't think Carrie Fisher was doing anything at the time. And so I wrote them both, and I wrote all 3 of them. Harrison Ford was super busy in the 90s and wasn't signing crap. But those 2 wrote me back, and I couldn't find Billy D. Williams. This is back in the day when the internet was, AOL, and you could find that. You remember those websites that stars addresses, and they had the addresses of the stars. Well, I found the website. I was like, well, let me go ahead and write them. So I wrote them, and they sent me an 8x10 back. Most of them did. Like I said, Harrison Ford didn't, but sometimes the address would be wrong. They'd have a different address for that fan. But I couldn't find Billy D. Williams. He wasn't, they didn't have everyone. They just had some of the bigger ones. And luckily they had Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. I was like, yeah. And the only autograph that I really wish I had that some people have is Wedge Antilles.
Oh.
That guy I don't think he comes to the U.S. I think he only signs over in the U.K. But I'd really like to get his. But the thing is, he said he had nothing to do with the books. He's never read them, I think. He doesn't know. But seriously, everyone loves Wedge Antilles because of those books. And I'd like to have a Wedge autograph because of that. But I think the only one, we were going to go to a Comic-Con where Greedo and I want to say Bosk were at. And I was kind of jonesing to get both of them, but we didn't go. I can't remember why. But I mainly I've gotten all the autographs I want to. Mainly I get a lot of I do have prequel people, but mainly I get a bunch of the older people. And my proudest ones are my Ewoks ones. Of course,
yeah.
Warwick Davis. You just send him $30. He'll send you one across the sea with your name and everything on it. Let me see. But Mace Windu, I got him, and Tarok, I got him, and I was so happy for those two. Wilford Brimley is never going to go to Comic Con because he's eating his Quaker Oats and talking about diabetes.
Dude, he can't leave the house anymore.
I'm telling you. And then who else was it that I like? Oh, Sindel Tatwani. She did a few early Comic Cons and just was not impressed by some of the people. Some people were really weird. And so she said, so she just stopped doing them, is what Mace, the guy who did Mace Windu, told me. Eric Walker said, yeah, she did a few very early, and then she just didn't fit. Some of the people were just kind of weird around her. So,
did you have Eric Walker sign his book?
Yeah, I did. It's horrible.
Can we get how out of 5 stars? 1 to 5 stars. 1 being the actually. I'll give you the 0 option on it. What would you rate it?
I'd go about a 4 negative. because the dude, you gotta see, the dude never got an editor. He just wrote it himself, and you could tell it's just poorly put together, poorly written. It could have been great if he would have got an editor, but he couldn't do that. And he's a little like the way he said it, he said every great act is in 3 parts. Act 1, and he gives this life and act, but nothing makes sense. Act 2, blah, blah. And now the exciting conclusion. Act 3, where am I in now? Well, Act 3 is a downer because you're not doing nothing now. Then he goes into, he and Warwick Davis were going to make movies together, and Warwick doesn't return his calls like he used to. They're not, they've kind of slipped away. He's like, he doesn't know what happened to him. He wishes they were better friends again. And I was like, yeah, dude, you're kind of weird though now. And then he's like, I'm coming up with a new show, a new story called Star Warriors. And Star Warriors stars this guy. It's going to be really cool. It's going to have books. I plan on having a TV series and video games and toys. And I was like, oh, no. So, and then he gives you a sneak peek into Star Warriors, what it's all about at the end. I'm like, no. But he talks about, he's bigger boy now. And he said he's had weight issues and he's trying really hard. So it'd really be nice if you'd say, he was looking good, because that helps helps him, motivates him to keep working on his diet. I don't believe he's on a diet at all, but he is a nice guy. And the cool thing, the best thing about it is him writing about his experiences on the Ewoks movies. And of course, that's the highlight of the book, because he only did like 1 TV movie for ABC afterwards, and then he was done with Hollywood. And
I didn't even know he did that, but okay.
Yeah, but he and Warwick were good friends. They did little videos. They were given some hand-me-down cameras, and they went to work doing a series of interviews and stuff like that. And they were talking to themselves like producers, and just 2 kids having fun. And he talks about how he got the role. He was so happy, but he had to lose some weight. And so it was like Rocky. His dad was on a bike and he was running beside his dad. He had to eat salads and stuff. And
how old was he?
He was 13, but they said you gotta lose a little bit of weight because they thought he was just a little too pudgy, and so which he's not in the movie. But
no, he looks like a normal kid.
He had to lose weight, and then when they found out there was going to be a second movie and he was in it, he was so happy. And then George, and this is true, George watched the movie Heidi with his daughters and thought, wow, that's great that she's kind of an orphan on herself. And so he asked them to change the script and just have Sindel and kill off the whole family. And that's going to make you feel bad for Sindel because she's all alone now. Well, when Eric wasn't told, and so when he got there and got the script, he saw that he only has 1 scene and he dies.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I think he was 14. And he said he sat there and he cried and cried and cried in his little trailer because he did not want to die. He was excited to share this adventure with, he was going to be shooting movies with Warwick again. He was, and he just boo-hooed because, he was told he was going to be in the whole movie, but then in between, George changed his mind. But I felt bad for him, felt real bad for him in that part, because I know that's got to crush you, because you're in a Star Wars movie. Oh, and they said, kid, get ready, because you're going to be popular this movie's gonna be popular for the next 10 years. They thought after 10 years though Star Wars would be dead. But for 10 years you're gonna be famous.
Hey again, Rob D. We are just discussing anything right now because Matt was about to join me on my last live stream.
I just missed him, which is my fault.
Oh no, it's all good. He had stuff he had to do. But
we're discussing Ewok movies, the behind the scenes Eric Walker book. It's not worth getting. Just ask me about it. He does show some pictures. He shows a picture. Something that always bothered me in those movies is he sticks his hand in that tree, if you remember this movie, and it sucks him in.
Vaguely.
And he pulls out. Well, then later on, it's not this hand. It's this hand that they're curing. Or no, vice versa. He sticks this hand, either one. But
it was a reshoot that they messed up on, right?
I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't his hand. It was this one. That's because there were two. He said everyone calls that out that they got it wrong. He said, actually, guys, we did a reshoot. Originally, it was a flower, an alien flower that infects his hand, and they got the right hand on the first shoot. And but then George didn't like it, so they went back and reshot it as a tree slug. He said that would be better. Well, they forgot to tell him which hand it was, and so he was told to stick his other hand in there, and they forgot that they'd already filmed it where he's getting this hand treated. So, and he shows a picture of Mace Windu looking at the flower. He shows a picture from the set of the deleted scene. I was like, dude, show more of these. Show more pictures from the set. So that's what I would have loved to see, because he took a lot of pictures. So, but he only has a few, but that'd been very interesting. Where Warwick Davis's biography is junk when it comes to Ewok movies. He talks about his time on Return of the Jedi. It's so much fun. And then he did 2 Ewok movies, and then he did Leprechaun. I'm going, wait. What
he did?
Talk about?
Oh yeah, he's the Leprechaun.
He's the Leprechaun for 5 movies.
I've seen those movies on my Roku, and I've never. I was like,
that's Warwick Davis. In fact, Warwick Davis was upset he wasn't asked to do Origins.
That's a good thing. Lucked out not being in Origins.
By the way, Matt Wilkins, I almost watched Highlander, the movie, the other day because I saw it on my Roku. I'm just but it was late at night. And I had to get up early, so I'm just I'll have to get this later. But
yeah, it's good to think because you would have stayed up to watch that fantastic movie.
The movie's awesome.
My favorite
says it's not as good as he remembered.
My favorite line is when Connor McLeod goes, "I am Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod. I was born, 600 years in the lands of Scotland, Highlands of Scotland. I'm immortal and I can't die." And then the next thing they're just making love. You're like, that's your pickup line?
Oh yeah. That's in every one of his movies. In Highlander 2, they're banging in the alley, that nasty post-apocalyptic alley. They're getting down and dirty.
I don't remember Highlander 2 for that reason.
He was an old man and he got quickened and he became a young man. I'm spoiling this, Adam, because good luck finding Highlander 2 to stream. You're not going to find it because even the producers of Highlander 2, as Adrian Paul says, they claim it never happened. Mm-hmm. They will deny it.
I'm actually curious. I'm looking at my Roku right now to see if it's on here.
Well, he found Highlander the source, Matt, and he was going to watch that first.
Yeah, you stopped me you're like, don't watch that.
I'm like, you will hate this series if you watch.
You shouldn't watch the source ever. It's a terrible ending to
I've been watching interviews with Adrian Paul lately, and I feel so bad for him. Every convention he goes to, someone asks him what went wrong with the source because he was a producer on it.
What does he say? That's interesting.
He says that the script he was given originally was not the script they shot with, and the script they shot with was not done. They hadn't written that awful ending yet. They came up with that in production.
Hey, Jeremy, what's the name of the Highlander 2?
The Quickening, also referred to as the Renegade version, which is a different cut of the film.
Found it.
It's streaming?
Yeah, you can find it on the Roku channel and something
Which
called
one?
Vidmark, on the Roku channel, or Vidmark Free Movies and TV app.
Okay, but which version is it? Is it called Highlander 2 The Quickening or Highlander the Renegade version?
Highlander 2 The Quickening.
Okay, it's the theatrical version where they're aliens from the planet Zeist.
Yeah.
Where the director's cut, they remove any mention of the planet Zeist but keep the footage in so it's more confusing.
Yeah, maybe this weekend I'll finally get a chance to watch that because I'm curious now.
Where can I see the Zeta Project? Where can I see Static Shock? Where is that streaming?
Oh, you can. They have a
app.
Yeah, they have a new streaming service, DC. Actually,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't get the free trial, Matt. Binge watch all 4 seasons in one sitting with the girls, then get rid of it.
No, I watched Titans. It sucked.
Titans?
My buddy has that DC one. He's been watching the old Challenge of the Super Friends. He went,
oh yeah, Super Friends is on there. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, dude. He said, did you know that cartoon sucked? I went, shut up. That's why I'm not watching it, because I was this close to buying them all on DVD, because I was like, because I got the card game Challenge of the Super Friends. It is a phenomenally fun game. It's so goofy. It looks like, well, hold on, I got it right here. It looks just like the old cartoon. If you see it, and it's just a card game. I think, well, this is a cash grab. This is probably going to suck. But it's actually a really fun card game. It's super fun. I don't know who would get this unless you saw the cartoon. Why would you care?
I don't know. It's such a niche thing.
It's very niche. But I was like, I thought this was a cash grab. And I was like, I'm not gonna get it. Well, then I needed that free shipping. You have to get $100. And I was like, well, this is $7-8. I said, I'll get it. And it came in. I was not impressed. And then I looked at the rules. I was like, wait a minute, this game sounds fun. I mean, but it has all the old artwork, Batman and Robin. You can be Aquaman. That's what sold me right there. You can be Wonder Woman, of course, and you can be Superman. And it's just, you could be the Wonder Twins are in this. Samurai is there. You remember Black Vulcan, because they couldn't think about Black Lightning back then, so they just called him Black Vulcan.
I have been wanting to reinstate my DC app, because I've been kind of wanting to watch the old George Reeves Superman series, because I don't know why. Yeah, it's in there. I don't know. I remember always like, oh, go ahead.
Is that Lois and Clark? Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is from the 1950s.
The
oh, the serial.
Yeah. Oh no, they were like it's like a series. There's like 2 or 3 seasons.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Fun fact, George Reeves appeared as Superman in I Love Lucy.
He did.
Ricky is a big fan. Little Ricky is a big fan of the cartoon, the TV show. So Ricky Ricardo, who's friends with George Reeves, gets him to dress up as Superman and comes to Ricky's party.
I saw that episode. That was funny because
it's funny. It's wild.
And then Lucy, she's afraid that George Reeves wouldn't be able to show up, so she dresses up as Superman herself.
She dresses up as Superman, because at first George Reeves says, I can't make it, I'm so sorry. But then he says, oh, wait, that plans fell through, I can make it. But, it's hilarious, because Lucy's stuck on the ledge outside.
Yeah, she got her cape stuck on a pipe or something.
Yeah, look at that. You remember this. By the way, I Love Lucy, shockingly, still funny. You'll laugh out loud. It's amazing how well that show was written. It's incredible to me. I watched all the Lucys. I watched Life with Lucy, Here's Lucy.
I don't remember the Mole Men, Rob D. It may be. I haven't seen the whole series, so it may be. I just remember in the 19th. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I was saying they used to have the Superman series on at on Nick at Night or TV Land, yeah. And I used to watch the old Adam West Batman and George Reeves Superman show late at night, while I was laying in bed.
If you get the DC Unlimited or whatever, let me know.
Oh, okay. About the Superman show.
Well, the Superman cartoon, Static Shock, and Zeta Project. Because I can't remember what all was on there. I got it just to watch Titans, and Titans season 1 was so bad. I watched season 2 and it was awful though. But Swamp Thing was bad.
I haven't seen Swamp Thing.
So don't watch Swamp Thing. It's terrible. But I need to check. Is it still? I can't believe it's still going.
Swamp Thing?
No. The DC.
Yeah, it's still going. Let's see. The 1940s Superman cartoons were surprisingly good. Oh yeah, I remember those. Those were actually pretty.
No,
decent.
DC's streaming thing. I can't believe that's still going.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought you were. Yeah, it's still going. Because they have a new Harley Quinn show on there, and it's very.
What's it called? What's it called?
DC Online, I think. DC Universe Online.
Universe.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me. That's actually the name of a video game. Let me. DC Universe, the Ultimate DC membership. Yeah, not DC Universe Online. That's the name of a video game.
Yeah. Don't have me looking up weird stuff.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Batman cereals, I actually own them.
What do you mean cereals?
You remember the cereals that came up in the 90s?
The old black and white ones where Robin's hair is like this tall.
I own them.
Batman's ears are like through the roof.
Yeah, I own them.
That used to come on TV all the time. You know, I know where those are. There's a big DVD collection of them, right?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Go get it. I almost bought that a long time ago, but I remember watching as a kid and going, man, this is not that good.
Well, they're very dated. I've seen those.
So wait, you can read comic books on this too?
Ooh.
With DC Universe.
Oh, I have no idea, man. I can tell you that I rewatched a couple episodes of the Incredible Hulk cartoon from the 90s. It's actually worse than I remembered it. And I remembered it being pretty bad.
That's interesting. I forgot about that.
Here you go.
Look at that. I remember that too. That's a nice looking cover for a crappy series. 1940s. Wow.
There's like what Batman looked like, and
now you in this one he's a detective. He just fights gangs, right?
Yes, I've only seen part of one episode, but
is he carrying a gun in it?
No.
Okay, so they moved past that.
No, he's not carrying a gun in this one. Not that I remember. I only seen like part of one episode.
Oh, look at that. Wonder Woman. Oh, The Flash. That series sucked, but I loved that series back in the day.
I have that one too.
The old Shazam
was in that show.
The 1970s Shazam. I never saw that.
Is it called Shazam or is it called Captain Marvel?
No, it's called Shazam because remember they couldn't use Captain Marvel. They'd already been sued by the
Stanley pulled a dirty trick.
Yeah, it was dirty.
Stanley. Can I just clear the air here right now? That
sure.
I think Stanley is a hack. That was just really funny and a people person.
Yeah, he was a people person. But it was.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Matt.
No, go ahead and ask your question.
I said you said Stan Lee was?
Yeah, Stan Lee didn't write a lot of what he's credited for writing. FYI. Well, how the contracts were back then.
Wait a minute. Yak Face says the 1940s Superman cartoons are surprised. Oh, they weren't 40s, were they? Was George Reeves the 40s?
No, George Reeves was the 50s, but they had
really? Oh, he's talking about the cartoon, that old cartoon.
Yeah, the really old one.
Those were fun. I remember when those used to come on old school Cartoon Network. I know one scene in Batman 1943 where Batman's cigarettes fall out of his pocket. Is that true? That'd be hilarious.
I got to check that out.
Rob,
by the way,
episode. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. By the way, Jeremy, I respect your opinion, so don't worry.
I don't respect your opinion, but Linda Carter, the Linda Carter Wonder Woman series, that must be pretty fun.
Hey, Quality Autism, how you doing, man?
Oh, what a great photo. Look at that handsome man on there. That quality.
Oh, that Harley Quinn cartoon looks awful.
Oh, I know, but everyone's like, it's really good, Jeremy. You should check it out.
I want to check it out. I don't want to see any of this stuff.
It has you guys know who Alan Tudyk is, right?
Wow, they got Super Friends.
He plays the Joker on that one.
Is that the one like in The Batman where Joker was a giant monster?
No, Alan Tudyk. What has he been in? He was in Rogue One.
As who?
K2SO.
Oh, he's Wash from Firefly.
Yes. He played.
He was he was all the robots in iRobot.
Oh, he was? Actually, I haven't seen Firefly. I was just like, wait, I just said yes. I'm like, wait, I haven't actually seen Firefly. I'm just taking your word for it.
Do y'all remember iRobot when they decided to make Isaac Asimov's book of short stories into a Will Smith action movie? And it was really bad.
I've seen half of it.
Isaac Asimov rolled in his grave like Tolkien did every time they made one of those stupid Hobbit movies.
By the way, I got to say, Matt Wilkins with the shade in your camera with you stroking your beard, you look like a menacing DC villain. You're like, which planet will I take over today?
I'm just looking this over. They have Static Shock. They have this 40s Superman. They have the regular. Well, I don't see the animated Superman, but I'm sure they have it. They have the New Adventures of Batman, which was the Adam West, 1970s Adam West one. They have the Super Friends, which I knew they did, but I heard sucked, but I still watch it because I used to love that show. They have everything from Static Shock. There was a 60s, 70s Superman comic book. Oh, there it is. There's the animated Superman series.
He says for the cigarette, Rob D says for the cigarette scene, it was a filming mistake, but you can find the scene on YouTube.
Oh, definitely.
That would be, I'm going to go look that up later.
I wonder if the Zeta, I don't think the Zeta Project's on here. That's okay.
That would be the deciding factor if you get it or not, is to get the Zeta Project. That's what really matters right now.
I'm telling you, I'm into this now.
This is like when I discovered there were Digimon movies when I was a kid and I had to hunt them all down. I was very disappointed, by the way. Very disappointed.
The Digimon movies?
The Digimon movies are actually worse than the Digimon series. I know that's a hot take for some people, but Digimon is pretty stupid. And it was always stupid.
My wife loved Digimon. I've never actually seen it, so.
Has you seen Digimon as an adult?
No, I don't think so.
Exactly. There are certain things you should leave in the conscious of your childhood, like the Incredible Hulk cartoon.
They had an Incredible Hulk cartoon?
Yeah, it was a spinoff of Spider-Man. When they made Spider-Man the animated series, there's an Incredible Hulk, and then there's an Iron Man.
Okay, you know what they made that I'm surprised that they made? And they had a spin-off show of the James Bond movies, and it's about James Bond's nephew that goes by James Bond Jr. I'm not kidding. Look this up.
It's bad.
It is horrible. Even the theme song is bad.
It's up there with the Rambo.
You know what's not bad?
What's that?
Linda Carter's Wonder Woman.
No, that's incredible.
I haven't actually seen it.
You don't even need sound.
I was trying to boot you, Adam, and then I realized this is your stream.
You mean like this? Anyway.
That is funny. No, we grew up watching those Linda Carter TV show, and I mean, it was probably dumb, but because she just spins around and suddenly magically she's Wonder Woman, But I just thought, man, she's super cool because she stops bullets with her bracelets and she lassos them and everything. And I was like, wow, because we didn't see superheroes on TV much back then. So that and the Incredible Hulk, Bill Bixby.
Yeah.
By the way, I rewatched those a few years back, and it's funny because Bill Bixby's character he does a fantastic job as the Incredible Hulk. I mean, he really plays. What's his name in the TV show?
David Banner.
David Banner. Yeah, he really plays David Banner really well.
Yeah.
And my buddy Wes says he cries every time he hears that song. He hears the piano music. He cries because it's he's at the end. He's always alone. He's always alone. He can't have friends. He can't, and it's really beautiful. And the movies are something to watch, man, because it's the first appearance of Daredevil, which is he looks like a ninja, and then there's Thor, which is probably one of the best TV movies.
Thor.
It's one of the best Thors. I'm not even playing with you. You think the new Thor movies are fun, but the original Thor was great. My favorite. We used to quote it all the time because that reporter who's been hounding him throughout the series finally catches up with David, but he knows where he is. He knocks on the door.
Thor comes out
with a pitcher of beer. He goes, yes, I'm looking for a man. You have found one. From the pitcher of beer. Yes, but this is a particular. He's like,
I am a particular man.
And I do not like the look on your face. You look like a rat-tailed Saxon to me, or a thieving Celt. And it's just, and the guy's just like freaking out. And it is so hilarious. It is so hilarious. And to be honest, it's a wonderful Thor. It is a wonderful Thor. I could not back then we had not seen the movie, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it's the best. And then the last movie, which was weird, called The Death of the Incredible Hulk, which wasn't supposed to be the last movie. They were supposed to come back, and he was supposed to be alive, and then She-Hulk was going to be introduced. Was the idea, but Bill Paxton passed away, and so that happened.
Yeah.
So him falling, was it him falling from a helicopter?
Yeah, it was an airplane.
Airplane. And it shows him like this, and he finally dies. He finds peace and whatever, and it pans away. You're like, oh my gosh. And that's how this, and it's a beautiful way to end this. It's a sad way to end a very sad show.
There was, I was going to also say, like, that scene with that Jack McGee, what made it even more awkward was that he comes out in a bath towel after taking a shower. Thor did.
Yes. He's great. That is such a great scene.
There was also, oh, go ahead.
Linda,
why was your face that way? Thor in a bath towel. Yes. Yeah.
I was going to say, Bill Bixby actually also wanted to make a crossover movie with the 1970s Spider-Man. You guys remember those series?
Yeah, he did. Wow.
Yeah, he did, but it was like Bill Bixby was going to be, or I think David Banner was going to be in New York or something, and I think Peter Parker would have recognized him. I can't remember. I'll have to go look that up.
That's interesting. I didn't hear about that. I wish. Now they did do a Legends of the Super Friends. Is that what you're talking about, Yak Face? I have that. Where Burt Ward and Adam West reprise their roles as Batman and Robin, and they fight Solomon Grundy. Someone dresses up as Solomon Grundy, and the Riddler, Frank Gorshin, comes back to play the Riddler.
Duel Masters. It's
got one hilarious, because the Flash is in there, Green Lantern's in there. Is Linda Carter, does she come back for that as Wonder Woman? I can't remember, but I don't think she is. But anyway, they have a whole slew of friends, and it only went 2 special episodes. But the second one is like it's weird. It's like a roast. They're just sitting on a stage, and the villains are roasting the superheroes, and the superheroes are witty commenting back on the villains. And it's got a fake laugh track. It's like really weird. Like, what was going on? What were they thinking? But it's fun to see. It's on DVD. It used to be cheap. I don't know if it's cheap now, but I remember someone told me that it existed years ago. I was like, shut up. And I bought it immediately. I was like, no, there's more Adam West, because to be honest, that Batman series, the best Batman series is the Adam West series by far.
Definitely a classic.
It's classic.
Those 2 Batman animated movies are those Adam West spin-off movies.
Those are good too.
It's all fun.
Yeah, they were
fun, but that whole 3 seasons, and even the movie's great. Some days you can't get rid of a bomb. I mean, I was waiting, and the Dark Knight Rises. Why didn't Christian Bale, as he's flying off of the Batwing? Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. It was
that would have been the best of that trilogy if that line was in there.
I was gonna tell you. Oh, good.
I've sat through 4 hours of this awful movie.
I was going to tell you, Matt, in the Lego Batman games, in Lego Batman 3, they have the whole Justice League in there. But what's cool is, like, with some certain characters, like with Superman, when he starts flying, they play the John Williams theme. When you pick Wonder Woman and she flies, you hear it go, da-da-da-da-da, Wonder Woman, from the show.
That's great. And the thing is, I know season 1 takes place in the past during World War II. And then season 2 and 3, she's in the future. I think with that guy's grandson. It's the same actor, I think, but he's playing the grandson of her love interest from the first season. Was it Steve Trevor, or is that? I think so. But I remember the first season is different from the other 2 seasons, and I think they just explained that she just went. She's Amazon woman, so she stays alive forever. But it's been years since I've seen that, so I don't know. DC Unlimited. I don't know, the Shazam series. I've never seen that. That'd be interesting. Static Shock, I have to see now.
When I got it for about like a couple of months, I only wanted to. I wanted to finish. I've never seen all the way through the Batman animated series on the 2 or 3 days I had off one week, I was like binge watching that. And by the time it was done, like it would be like 5 o'clock, and I would like my wife would come home from work, and I'd be like, "I'm done. I did it."
The marathon has been won.
I don't know. Like I'm at this point where I'm starting to get to the point where Disney Plus is just equally as useless as the DC streaming service. Or it's just like
I hate it. The moment our year subscription where it runs out because Verizon gave us a year subscription, it's gone.
it's bad. The only thing interesting is I rewatched The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which is still one of the best Disney movies ever made.
Oh, that's a movie. I was going to say they did a TV show back.
New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which is the only reason I keep having this streaming service. Aside from I keep suffering through Dave Filoni's Clone Wars.
What's the theme song?
I don't remember, man.
Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear.
I enjoyed seasons 1, 2.
Do you remember the episode when they're with the dog and they go through the grocery store? It's like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And what?
Here's what I'm upset about. Besides the Star Wars stuff they don't have on Disney Plus, they don't have Pooh's Corner. Remember that? The live action people in suits.
Oh, Book of Pooh.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's Book of Pooh, where they were made by Jim Henson's Muppets.
No, they're actual people in costumes.
What? I didn't know this existed.
Look it up. Pooh's Corner, and then Dumbo Circus, which is people in costumes.
You know, I've never seen Dumbo though, right?
My wife would be very disappointed.
It was very sad.
Wait, you haven't seen the original one or the new one?
Either.
Don't watch Tim Burton's.
Yeah, I don't watch anything Tim Burton made past Ed Wood. So
Hey, Matt, this is for your wife. Anyway. Yeah,
thank you. I'm looking at Pooh's Corner.
But Pooh's, I think that's what it's called.
Linda Carter was quite distracting in the Battle of the Network Stars. Haven't seen that.
Welcome to Pooh Corner. Yeah. Check that out, man. That is the business right there. But my wife was hoping to see, because whenever we got the free 2-week Disney Channel, we got the Disney Channel 2-week trial. Welcome to Pooh's Corner and Dumbo Circus always came on in the mornings, and we always watched it. And she remembers watching them as a little girl too, and she loved those series. And when we got Disney Plus, she was ready to see Welcome to Pooh's Corner and Dumbo Circus, and they weren't there.
No.
Oh, I was also gonna say, on the streaming app, Matt, they have comic books on there.
You know what? I think my brother told me about this. I think my brother was thinking about getting it, and like I said, when I got it, I just got to watch Titans. I regret not looking at the rest of this stuff.
Titans is awful.
Titans is terrible, but I didn't have time to look at anything else, and I should have been watching the Superman series.
You remember when Robin said "F Batman"?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
So it's the most Zack Snyder thing I've ever heard in my life.
Disney's terrible live action remakes are awful.
Quality. My wife agrees with you with everything but Aladdin. Oh no, she thought Beauty and the Beast was okay, but she loves Aladdin.
Does Christopher Robin count as one of those? Because it's kind of like its own entity.
Which one?
Christopher Robin.
I don't think so. But Christopher Robin was actually pretty good.
That was the best movie of 2018.
I liked it.
That was a shocker for me. I didn't want to see it, and after Megan wanted to see it, so I took her to theaters, and I looked at her and went, "Well, this was a way better than I thought it would be."
You know what would have made it even better though, if it was all in his head and he was just going through a midlife crisis. That's what I thought they were going to do.
He wakes up in a padded cell. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just like helps him through in the Disney way that he went through this like crisis, and Pooh helped him out of it and realized like his family meant something. But the fact they were real was pretty funny.
I was going to answer this really quick. Rob D, when I went down to Disney World recently, I actually got a picture at one of the hotels with the Herbie or the Lug Bug. Yeah. And I think my brother actually owns the VHSs of that. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. But
I have two weird stories about the Love Bug. The first is
your wife liked those. She liked them.
She did.
I initially thought they were just going to do a motion capture of Robin Williams and make it blue.
I'll be honest. I don't think my wife was expecting much, and then she went and saw it. And she said, "I love this movie," and I didn't see it till it came out, on video, and we watched it, and it was fine. But I enjoyed the cartoons better. I didn't like Maleficent.
Oh yeah, that was stupid, and the sequel was even dumber.
The second was bad, and then
Sequel.
I never saw the Jungle Book. I never saw Cinderella. I did see Beauty and the Beast with her. Okay. What's the other live ones they've done?
They call the Lion King live action, but how can that be when
Never saw that one.
Oh my gosh. I just heard this the other day. I hope it's not true. They're wanting to remake the 70s Robin Hood that they made with the fox, but they still want to remake it with the fox, but like have it like that same technology that they use with the Lion King.
Ew. I'm sorry, but that type of CG looks gross to me. When you see the individual hairs of something, it looks really wrong.
Oh, they also did Pete's Dragon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Pete's Dragon thing was embarrassing.
I don't remember seeing that one, but I remember it coming out. But now, if you want to see, if you want to see Robin Hood, you gotta see the Kevin Costner one.
I was gonna say that's on Netflix now.
It's probably the best Robin Hood movie they're ever made because what's his name who plays Sheriff of Nottingham?
Alan Rickman?
Yeah,
Alan Rickman
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was comedic when I saw it. And he steals the scene. He steals the show. He's brilliant. He's like, what does he say? Tax them double time and cancel Christmas. And he's so mad. He went, and you see me in my quarters an hour. You 2 hours. And then he turns back. He walks away, then turns back to her and bring a friend. I mean, they just let him do whatever, and but it's not hokey. It's not over the top.
He brings a class to it too.
It's so perfect, and to be honest, it is just, and it feels like a fairy tale, which is what Robin Hood should be. I mean, you can make fun of Kevin Costner all you want, but it has a fantastic film.
It's better than the Russell Crowe Robin Hood.
I don't think I saw that one. I don't think I wanted to.
Reminded me of the Patriot in a bad way.
I'll have to actually disagree with you on something, Matt. I think the best Robin Hood actor is. I played Robin Hood in a play once.
Oh, you did?
I did. It was like my freshman year of college.
Shut up. Do you have a picture?
I do somewhere. I'll have to look it up and text it to you or something. But it wasn't a great play, and I mean, we did really. It was the story wasn't the greatest, but we did. The people, my friends that were in it, we did pretty good. It was it was definitely the wooden swords kept breaking.
Yeah, a funny story with that. My buddy was in a Robin Hood play, and it was a kids' theater, and I went and saw it. And he was Robin. He was hilarious. And when it came to the sword fight, he forgot to bring his sword on stage. And he goes, "On guard." He's a defend yourself, Robin. And he goes, and his name's Bo. Bo realized he forgot to bring the sword out. So there's a cart. They're in a market, and veggie cart. He grabs a carrot, and they fight. And he's got the carrot with him, and he just stays in character the whole time, fighting with a carrot. And it was friggin' hilarious. And I thought that was part of the show. I thought, Robin Hood is using whatever's around him to fight off the guy, but that was because he just forgot. I said, that was hilarious. He went, "Oh yeah, I forgot to bring my sword out." I went, "Are you serious?" Because they didn't even break. He didn't break. He just grabbed the carrot and they started fighting. And I was like, I thought that was part of the show. Oh, wait, blow it up. Let's see it.
It's kind of blurry, but this isn't the only one. But here's the whole cast. But that's me right there.
Pretty cool.
That's me right there in the middle with the bow.
Can you blow your picture up? Okay. No,
that's as far as I can.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll have to look around. I do have another picture somewhere. But yeah, the only thing that I was disappointed with that show is that we did the archery scene like in the contest, but we had difficulty like making it work. So we had to like me and some other archer had to be backstage, and there had to be like a sound effects, and everybody was just like watching the arrow go by.
That's funny.
I'm also partial to the Errol Flynn Robin Hood because that was filmed where I live. It's filmed in Bidwell Park.
Mm-hmm.
Along with it's one of the two big films that were filmed in Chico. The other being the exteriors for the house in Gone with the Wind, which is actually not far from where I live. Drive by it like pretty much every day when I come home. But Errol Flynn could really sword fight, and I appreciate that in a film. Someone can actually like fight with a sword.
They had a good cast in that film. They had Basil Rathbone as Guy of Gisborne. They had Claude Rains, who played the Invisible Man, as Prince John. Yeah, that was just a good. That was a good movie.
It's a very classic Hollywood movie in that golden age of Hollywood. It's fun. It's kind of hokey now if you're used to modern movies. I watch a lot of old movies. Or at least I've watched a whole bunch of this in the last year. So like I'm used to like watching something where like the camera doesn't move around a whole lot. That's a whole art form when you're movie like the really old films where it looks like a stage play. In order to make that actually engaging, because the camera is literally too heavy to move.
Yeah,
Chris, I have to agree. He
gets raked over the coals for that, but you know what? I find that hilarious too. There's nothing English about his accent. It's just Kevin Costner. I mean, I was hoping that in the woods he would hear, "If you build it, they will come," because it's just a fun character over and again. But not to knock Kevin Costner. Some of his most brilliant films, Robin Hood, Field of Dreams is probably my favorite. And to be honest, Robin Hood is probably number 3 because I am one of the few people who love The Postman.
It's better than Waterworld.
Waterworld sucks.
Waterworld is one of the most pretentious, just schlocky.
It's insane. It's insane. But Postman, which was another debacle at the movie theater, was great.
I think Postman would have done better if Waterworld hadn't been before.
Did Waterworld come before that?
I think it did.
Okay.
I think a year prior.
It's worth your time to watch.
I don't remember Postman, and I remember Waterworld being like this big deal because how bad it was. Like it was one of the few times my parents rented a movie because of how bad it was because they couldn't believe Kevin Costner was in a bad movie. So I remember watching Waterworld when it came out on VHS, like sitting there and just not understanding what was going on. Because what was Waterworld, like 96, 97?
Something like that, yeah.
3. Like, and I remember watching this film and being like, why is there water everywhere? Why does he have gills? Actually, I didn't even know what the word gills were.
Here's
underwater.
I thought Kevin Costner did really good in the movie Open Range.
Rob Dean, Kevin's Gate. That is beautiful.
Oh,
it is the Heaven's Gate of the 90s. That is for sure.
I wonder if I have a to watch list, and on there I've never seen. I just realized this. My brother went nuts over it. I've never seen The Professional. Leon.
Oh, I only saw it last year. It's a good film. It makes me wonder why Natalie Portman phoned it in The Phantom Menace.
But I never saw that, and my brother was talking about Heat, and I was like, "Oh, Heat."
Oh yeah, that's honestly, I still think. That's Natalie Portman's best film is Heat, and she's barely in it.
Well, she's not in Heat, is she? She's not in Heat, is she?
She's Al Pacino's daughter in Heat.
Shut up! Really, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
But I remember loving Heat, so I marked both of those, and then my brother he's buying. He already bought it, I think. Dick Tracy.
Oh, I've seen that. Warren Beatty, was it?
Dick Tracy it's weird. It's a good film, but meaning the way it looks, I love the way it looks.
Style of it, but it's mediocre.
The style, yeah. The story is mediocre, but the style's there. It's got that classic. It's early 90s, right? 1990 maybe even.
Yeah, it's 1990.
But it's got this nice feel. I don't know. There's something about the style that I really appreciate that movie. And it's questionably zany. It's got Robert De Niro. No, not Robert De Niro. Al Pacino.
Uh-huh.
And,
I remember Madonna's in it, and she's not.
Okay. I got it. I found the picture.
Okay.
That's this is the program. That's me.
Oh, look at that guy. Look at Robin of Locksley.
Oh, adorable guy.
Look at that charming smile.
Back when I was skinny and had no facial hair.
What year was this? I see the date, but I don't see the year.
2009.
I would have been a freshman.
I just turned 20. I was
married and working.
Weren't you newly married though? I thought you got married in like 08.
I was newly married, yes.
Thanks,
Rocky. I just started my job by then.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, isn't he looking chic there? Strapping young man.
Well, yeah.
Is it? Can I just say that Natalie Portman can act, but just chooses not to in 90% of the movies she does?
That's fair.
Annihilation's the only other film I can think of that she's genuinely good and not either A, being bland, or B, putting on this awful voice. Like in V for Vendetta, you remember her British accent in that and how awful it is?
Somewhat.
What was the thing with the Phantom Menace again? I was looking for the picture when you guys were.
That she phones it in for the Phantom Menace?
Well, I can't.
Worst actor.
I can't really fault anyone for their performance in the trilogy because Hayden Christensen in Looper is actually pretty good. And
he did like 2 films after that, and they're both
Awake.
Solid.
Did he do Awake?
Yeah,
Awake was really good.
Yes, yeah, that was like his.
But do you know I didn't want to see that? My dad rented it. And he went, "You got to see this movie. It's great." I went, "What is it?" Awake. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. I was like, "Okay," and it was really good. I was really surprised. But so I think mainly it's George Lucas's fault because George Lucas would say faster, more intense, and he wouldn't give me any direction.
At the same time, I think Ewan McGregor's acting is great in all 3 movies.
But that's because Ewan McGregor can transcend it. But you look at Liam Neeson, who's fantastic. He's playing Jane in episode 1.
Yeah, I just think the character's written well in episode 1 because you can Samuel L. Jackson's really boring until Revenge of the Sith.
Right, but that's either way.
He's not being a bad mother effer.
Speaking of Liam Neeson, did you ever see Cold Pursuit?
What?
Did you ever see Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson? You've got to see. It's like a dark comedy. They do it as an action revenge movie because that's what he's known for is his action revenge.
Yeah, he's become like the Charles Bronson that can act.
Yeah, but the thing is though, and I'll be honest, I've enjoyed every single one of his movies that have come out. The Commuter. The Gray is fantastic.
I love The Gray. I saw that.
Gray made me laugh so hard.
But it's great. Oh, it's great.
Don't act like that.
My brother says they should have just called it Wolf Puncher.
I was gonna say for V for Vendetta, you know those little eggs, egg toasting that they make in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, me and my wife actually learned how to make those. Oh, go ahead.
While I'm thinking about it, Liam Neeson was very young, and he just kind of was a side character in something called The Mission. Adam, have you seen The Mission?
I don't think so.
It's early 80s. Robert De Niro, Jeremy Irons.
I haven't seen it. No.
I think you would love it.
Is it before Kroll?
I don't know. When was Kroll?
Wonderful in Kroll for his small role.
Well, in this movie, it's based on a true story. missionaries go off. They don't know what happened to them. They went to go visit a tribe. They're most likely dead, and so more missionaries go, and it's unbelievably. The cinematography is beautiful. It's enrapturing. The soundtrack is amazing. I saw this years ago, back when Blockbuster gave you 7 movies for 7 days for $7, and you'd go on a binge watch. That was binging back then before Netflix. You just went to Blockbuster and did the 7 movies for 7 days. Remember
old days?
Remember when you said, "Dude, I watched a movie every day for 7 days"? Whoa, really? That used to be binge watching.
Yeah, like during the ice storms and everything, that would people would go impending ice storms, people would go rent movies, and then
Well, just lock inside, Blockbuster and chill. But the thing is, we saw the mission. I was like, golly, that was fantastic. Because sometimes you scattershot. You'd find that's how we found Tremors 2. We were like, oh my gosh, what is this gym? We found mall rats that way.
Did you find that William Shatner comedy movie? Where he comes to those people.
I knew about it, and I wanted to watch it because it was a comedy, but I did not know if William Shatner was going to be funny, because this is before he was funny or did comedy. And that's a great movie, but The Mission, I just recently rewatched it last year, and it's still good. It's better than I remembered. If you Jeremy, I think even you'd love it because it's got this.
Oh, I probably would.
It's got some beautiful shots. The music is wonderful, and everyone's performance is fantastic. And the thing is, there's not much action. Even at the end, when there's a war going on, the action isn't really there. But it doesn't have to be, because the characters, the story is just so.
Because that's not the point. Okay, I get it. I was thinking of remakes right now.
Quality Autism had a question for everyone. Am I mean for saying that I think George Lucas is on the spectrum?
Everyone's on the spectrum is the correct answer in some way, because humans have to label people.
Also,
that is the best answer for any type of question like that.
I unfortunately have not seen all of Tombstone. I need to do that.
I don't remember either, so it leads me to believe I don't think I've seen either.
Yak Face, I can't agree with that, but I do think Wyatt Earp was a good film. I think Tombstone is a little overrated. I will say that, but Tombstone has some fantastic performances.
Well, you're gonna like Tombstone because Val Kilmer's in it.
I do, and it's you. If you ask me what's the best Val Kilmer film, Tombstone's up there, but there's so many.
Doors film.
I remember him being good in Heat, but I just don't remember.
Oh yeah, everyone's great in Heat. But to me, like the Doors film, where he is Jim.
He was good at Jim Morrison. He was a great Jim Morrison. He did the role well. But I still think Tombstone may be his best performance. I'm going through them in my head right now. Island of Dr. Moreau was fun, but that's not as memorable.
Top Secret is wonderful too.
When I played
Thunderheart or Thunder, the old one where he's an FBI agent going onto the Indian reservation, it's great.
When I played piano for a living, I was hoping that someone would come up to me with that Tombstone reference and everything, like the John Philip F. and Sousa. I'm like, well, this is a nocturne from Frederick F. and Chopin,
Oh man, Tombstone, but Val Kilmer is just perfection in Tombstone. He takes that tin cup and.
I actually I almost met him at Comic-Con. Like he was there. Like I was just like, ooh, Batman's here. But then again, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say there was that Batman, but there was also Kevin Conroy. And I was just like, ooh, and I ended up meeting Lou Ferrigno instead. But
Kevin Conroy is an absolute joy to talk to, and with Val Kilmer, I was supposed to see him, but he canceled last minute. I can't remember why. I was kind of bummed because I really wanted to get him to autograph. I was going to get him to autograph. I talked about it, and I thought that at the time I said he's got to be Batman because his performance in Batman Forever was underrated. I didn't give him credit for it back in the day, and when I rewatched, I was like, he's not a bad Bruce Wayne. It's just that Michael Keaton just really was rocking that role.
Honestly, like I said before, I think that Val Kilmer is one of the best Bruce Waynes, but I think his Batman's a little on the weak side. but it didn't have to be good because we had Robin. And it's more Robin's story in a lot of ways for Batman Forever.
It's unfortunate that Chris O'Donnell's there.
Yeah, that's some bad casting.
But back in the day, you know who I would have gotten? Maybe a Ryan Felipe.
Okay.
You know who auditioned to play Robin? Christian Bale. Batman, The Dark Knight. Yeah, he auditioned to play Robin.
He did Newsies, which is probably why he's still ass mad that they were going to put Robin in the Dark Knight movies, and he said he quit.
He did say that.
Who did?
Christian Bale was determined not to have Robin in his in the trilogy, even though he somewhat was. And
oh yeah, that I always forget that stupid cameo exists. His name's Robin. Give me a break.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Let's see.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt just doesn't do it for me as an actor. You remember that movie, that awful movie Looper that Rian Johnson directed, where he was a young Bruce Willis? And then you had Bruce Willis in there, and he was like a sleepy grandpa.
Oh, I said Looper earlier. It's Jumper.
Yeah, I knew.
Oh, yeah, Jumper. Yeah,
Jumper. Thank you.
Jumper,
yeah,
Looper.
Yeah,
like that should have been like the ticket when Disney said, "Oh, Rian Johnson is going to direct our next Star Wars movie." Like maybe we shouldn't.
Here's Rob D. One thing I just remembered: my Attack of the Clones DVD I watched as a kid had a scratch on it, so I would have to skip the fireplace love scene.
That's okay.
We'd be living a lie. Like, I'm haunted by my feelings of you. You know?
That's what he's saying. I'm haunted by the kiss you never should have given me.
Oh,
in my opinion, he's out acting her. Everyone gives him crap for that, but he's doing a lot better than she.
If you watch his other stuff, he's actually a pretty solid actor.
They're both solid actors. It's just Natalie Portman's just done a ton of crap that wasn't Star Wars, like Garden State. The best review of Garden State I've ever heard of is Red Letter Media. Plinkett talks about it briefly in the Revenge of the Sith review. He said if cancer were pretentious, it would be Garden State. It's the best way to describe that movie because it is just awful. It's one of the hipster, stupid trash.
I remember the one Natalie Portman film I thought was because I was, head over heels for her back in the day. What was the one where the number 5 is unlucky for her? She's pregnant and she gets left by her boyfriend in a store because her boyfriend just freaks out and doesn't want to be a dad.
I don't know what
it's Where the Heart Is or something. Where the Heart. It's a chick flick, but I was like, oh, it was pretty good. But maybe I was just saying that because I was renting chick flicks just to see Natalie Portman.
That's grumpy old Bruce Willis in the Star Wars sequels. I wonder if he would play. Oh my gosh.
I even rewatched Die Hard and I said, well, maybe Die Hard, what's it called? The last one?
Live
Another Day.
Live Free and Die Hard, or
that's the fourth one.
That's the fourth one.
Is A Good Day to Die Hard.
A Good Day to Die Hard. I was like, well, maybe I just judged that too hard. Nope.
The irony is Bruce Willis isn't trying, and he's the best actor in the movie. The guy that got to be his son played young John Connor in Terminator Genesis, and I'm convinced he's not an actor.
It's not good. But to be honest, Live Free and Die Hard I thought was fantastic.
I think that's the only Die Hard movie I've seen.
I almost dropped the F.
Oh well,
it's terrible.
The first movie is the best. The second movie is very solid. I was shocked. That was the one that I underrated because that was a great movie. The third movie is almost perfection.
Oh yeah, that third movie's if you can only watch one Die Hard sequel, watch Die Hard with a Vengeance.
It's fantastic. But Die Harder is actually a pretty solid film.
Yeah, Die Harder is just if John McTiernan didn't direct Die Hard, that's what it would have been. It's just an okay film. I mean, if you're a Terminator 2 fan, it's what's that? The guy who played the T-1000, Robert Patrick. That's his first movie.
Like someone said, he's only stuck in a building in the first one. He's stuck in an airport, but he can go outside the airport a little bit, so he's a little bit more range. Then his range is all over New York City. Then his range is the world. You know, he's saving the world or the country. And the
just
next movie,
Good Day to Die Hard. They're in Chernobyl.
It's really terrible, and it's kind of like I want them to do a sixth one just to get that one out of my mouth, but then I'm afraid it'll stop even worse.
Okay, I just realized the guy that they had play his son, I think Call of the Autism said Jay Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the DCEU. He plays Captain Boomerang in Suicide Squad.
Yes, he does.
I don't remember that.
He is literally one of the worst actors I've seen in A-list action movies or any movie, like ever. And that's saying something when we have, what's her face from Solo, who played Kira.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Emilia Clarke is one of the worst actresses I've ever seen in anything ever. Like she is worse than Kristen Stewart. And
no, come on.
Oh no, she's terrible. Just terrible in Game of Thrones. The only movie she's acted okay in was that Solo movie. But her is Sarah Connor in Terminator Genesis. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
So I may have a line in on the Superman animated series. I just remember that Bruce has a DVD collection, so he said I'd have to search through the tons of DVDs, but it's probably in there.
But does he have the Zeta?
He doesn't have the Zeta. I know he didn't have that. I know he didn't have Static Shock. Because that was...
I'm just shocked Bruce had...
Kristen
Stewart.
She is awful. Did you watch Underwater?
No.
I just watched it the other day. It's like, have you all seen Leviathan? Leviathan is one of the funniest late 80s B movies I've ever seen. It's like Alien, but underwater, but also like The Thing. And it's like...
I don't remember that.
It's like a gore fest, like 80s like horror movie, but it's awesome. But Underwater is if they took Leviathan and played it straight and like were serious about it. That's what Underwater feels like. It is so bad. I could not stop laughing.
My brother's watching the Riddick trilogy again.
The Chronicles of Riddick?
Pitch Black. He said, great movie it is. Chronicles of Riddick, which is pretty good too. And Riddick, which is really good.
I've never seen Riddick, but Chronicles of Riddick, is that the one that opens with the invasion?
Yes.
Okay, so I was watching Troy the other day. And Troy, when they open the Trojan horse, that is the freakiest like pillaging I've ever seen. And I'm trying to remember Chronicles of Riddick, and I can't remember which one's better of like invasion.
The invasion of Chronicles of Riddick scene. It's funny how you should mention that. It's scary. Because you have the ships over, shooting over the city. I think they had a big set too, right?
Yes, yeah. Chronicles of Riddick has like 3 times the amount of money that Pitch Black did.
Oh yeah, and it's an immaculate set. So the camera gets to pan over this real life city that they built, and you see those little the things in the tanks that can sense people, and they're taking people away, and people are screaming and flying up from the thing. It's just really freaky, and not as much CGI because CGI wasn't really overused back then.
Well, yeah. And also, the CGI looked bad in Pitch Black when they used it.
And to be honest, when he's done watching, I may have to watch those again because it was really good. Now, Riddick is kind of a throwback to the first one, and it's good. But I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Vin Diesel, that's how they got him back for Fast and Furious. I'll do 3 more movies if you give me the rights to Riddick.
Yes, he owns Riddick.
He owns Riddick, but that's because he had to do Fast and Furious 4, 5, and 6.
I have a great...
that 7, 8, and now 9 will be what pays for the making of another Riddick movie. I honestly, you can tell he doesn't like doing those movies.
Go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead.
Well, I had a question for you guys. Go ahead. So,
well, no, I was just, I don't know. I think he's kind of upset because ever since Paul Walker passed away, I don't think his heart's been in it to do anymore, but because it keeps making money, they keep bringing him back. However, they're trying to, when 7, 8, 9 came out, they're trying to replace him with The Rock, but they just can't do it because Hobbs and Shaw bombed. Didn't it?
Yeah, well, no one gives a crap about it.
It's such a generic action movie.
Why
It's
does
not good at all.
still think Jason Statham's cool?
You want to see a good action movie? John Wick 3.
I still haven't seen John Wick 3.
Well, that's because you don't have happiness in your life.
Because it hasn't come out on, it's still $20 to rent on iTunes and on Amazon Prime. So, that's why I haven't watched it.
I have a fun question for you guys, and I just thought about it. You guys are mentioning films that you've seen and want to see again, but I got a fun question. What is a movie that you've seen, and the first time you saw it, you loved it, but the second time you saw it, you realized that you hated it?
Ooh.
I got mine ready, but I'll wait for you guys.
Go ahead and give yours while we think.
Okay, I was probably 13 or 14 years old at the time, but when I loved Van Helsing when it came out. And then
because I said that movie was hot garbage the other day to you.
I don't remember you saying that. Was that Van Helsing? Say what?
I know mine.
But I still enjoy watching it, but I'm just like, oh man, I used to, and I was bragging about it to, me and my dad would go see it. I was like, oh man, that's my new favorite movie. And then I watched it later on. I'm just like, oh man, this is cheesy, But I mean, Richard Roxburgh as Dracula, he was way over the top, and
God, he was Dracula.
He had that weird, just I am Dracula type accent, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, shut up, Anyway, go ahead, Matt. You said you had yours.
Mine is without a doubt Short Circuit. We loved that stupid film as a kid. Watched it a billion times. I remember Short Circuit 2 being not as good, but I was like, I still love it because it's Short Circuit. But the first one was just so great. And we used to watch it, and I loved it as a kid. Well, then I found it at the Walmart, DVD bin for $5. One and 2, and I was like, shut up, sold all day, sold. I was so excited. And I told my wife, I said, we gotta watch these. No, not good. Not really bad. Really 80s robot. I should have known, but it's just horrible. So that's my pick.
Oh man.
Quality Autism. I will say, even I haven't seen it in a while, but I was wanting to watch it soon. It's kind of on that list of guilty pleasures too, but I mean, it was mostly the acting that was bad for me, the over the top acting. But anyway, I'm sorry, Jeremy, go ahead.
It probably would be Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I remember really liking the first, because I was a kid when it came out, and I'm like, oh, Angelina Jolie is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, oh my God, this movie's wonderful. Then I saw Cradle of Life, and she punched a shark in the face, and I thought that was wonderful. And then you can punch a shark in the face.
I kind of wonder if people I think they should know that when they tell you to punch a shark in the face, it's not going to probably get the shark to go away, because you have the water pushing back on your arm.
He should have had shark repellent.
I know that's true. That's why it's not great.
Shark repellent. Sorry.
All right.
Jason Statham should have punched the Megalodon in the Meg movie. That wouldn't have worked at all, but it would have been fun to watch.
That's a good one. The Transporter. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Don't watch Transporter 3.
Don't remember it.
Quality Autism said, Jeremy, he thought that you said Warcraft Tomb Raider.
What was your movie of 2019?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. Well, you have to remember, I hadn't seen. I changed it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood just to troll you, even though that movie's good.
Oh yeah, I said. I said John Wick 3. There just wasn't. I was shocked at how good that movie was.
Gosh, I can't remember what I put. It might have been The Irishman when we did the podcast. That was either one or two.
Go back and look at
Dolomite.
Yak Face says I enjoyed Karate Kid 3 as a child and then realized it was not so great later on. Oh, yeah, guys in the comments, if you want to pitch in your movies that you loved at first and hated, go for it.
Yak Face. So Karate Kid 3, you're right. I thought it was cool. That's another good one for me. I'll pick that one too because I thought that was the best. I remember telling my brothers because I rented it when I was at my grandmother's house. And I remember when I got home, I told my brothers, went, Karate Kid 3. They said, you saw it? I said, yes. They said, is it good? I said, it's the best one. I remember telling them that. I said, it's the best one. Because I said, this is all, because we didn't really like Karate Kid 2. And it's not so bad now that I've watched it again. But Karate Kid 3 is just a fun. It's a fun movie. And so I love it. And then I watched it again. Ooh, I love it for a different reason now.
That movie,
really top. It's really cheesy. It's corny.
The villains overacting is the best part of that movie.
But did you hear the rumors? Cobra Kai season 3. They keep hinting that Terry Silver is coming back, and they have been pitching. Karate Kid. When Cobra Kai first came out, we watched the movie, and then I told them, I said, "You got to come back tomorrow night." They said, "Why?" I said, "We got to see 2 and 3." And I was joking with them, but I wanted to see 2 and 3. And I kept joking. I said, "The guys, if we don't watch 3, we're going to be lost. 3 is going to be a big part of them." And guess what? It is. 3 is a big. What happens in 3 impacts Cobra Kai. Mm-hmm. And so, and I was like, because we can't believe they keep mentioning. They mentioned Terry Silver. They mentioned how Cobra Kai got dissolved because of what happened in season Karate Kid 3. I'm like, I cannot believe they're incorporating Karate Kid 3 so much in this show.
You know what they need to do though?
Turns out, though, that the writers love Karate Kid 3, and they said that they had big plans. So not only is Terry Silver rumored to come back, is Terry Silver coming back? He said, "Know this, I am a Terry Silver fan." That's all the writer would say. And then Mike Barnes supposedly, a long time ago, said that he was pinned for season 3, but has yet to. He said no comment ever since then. But they're going to bring back. If they bring back those guys, it's just. That's why I love Cobra Kai. Do or die Cobra Kai. Have y'all seen Cobra Kai?
No.
Fantastic. It's fantastic.
You know what will bring me in though is they bring back Hilary Swank.
No, do you know well, they did say the next Karate Kid does exist in the universe, but they have not referenced it at all. Thank goodness.
They should bring back all continuity, and then bring back and James Smith in there too.
No, shut your mouth.
Rob D said he loved the 2012 Avengers, but when he rewatched it, he said, "Did this movie always have terrible humor?" And
they all do.
And Yakface said Daniel-san's girlfriend leaves before the end of the movie for no reason, and he has a bigger gap.
Elizabeth Shue? No.
It's funny because Daniel-san's supposed to be playing an 18-year-old, yet he's like 20-something by this time.
Oh no, he's probably 30.
By that time, but you could tell he's way older.
And Quality Autism enjoyed the 4th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but now he thinks it's awful.
It's okay. What was awful was it the 5th movie?
I didn't watch the 5th movie. I didn't.
Was it Dead Men Tell No Tales? Or?
How many is the 5th movie? The last movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, now
there's a decent. It's okay, but I remember the one funny scene. And correct me if I'm wrong. There's a scene where he falls in the grass while he's running away. Jack Sparrow does, and he gets up real quick and attacks the grass with the sword and keeps running. And we laughed, and I told my wife, I said, I bet that was a blooper. I bet he didn't mean to do that. And sure enough, on the DVD, it says that, he tripped and Johnny Depp just did that real quick and ran off the set, and the whole cast was laughing. And the director goes, "We're going to put that in the film." It was a blooper take.
In the second movie, the whole "I've got a jar of dirt" was actually improvised, and my wife was pointing out that Orlando Bloom's face, like you see him going, "What?" And they used that shot in the movie.
That's funny, but yeah, I could tell. After we laughed, I started thinking, I don't think that was part of the movie. I said, I bet he actually tripped and just did that, and they kept it in the film. And sure enough, when it came on DVD, we watched it, and that it was a blooper that they put in there. But to be honest, if that's the only funny thing you laugh out loud with, it's not that good. It should be a more fun movie, and it just wasn't. I like the idea that they went for, and the ending is nice because it wraps up the original trilogy and everything. It kind of wraps up everyone's storyline. Hint, hint.
You mean it was an apology for
no, but
World's End being?
But the original cast comes back.
Yeah, I tell that from the trailer.
It's a nice ending, but at the same time, I'm like, I wish this would have been funnier. They try to get funny stuff, and I think the fourth one was better. It's not as good as the first three. I haven't seen those movies in a really long time, so maybe I should rewatch those. But I don't know. A part of me doesn't want to feel like it. It's like the Fast and Furious movies. They're fun for one watch, and I don't want to see them ever again.
I haven't seen any of them.
It's a popcorn film. Unhook your brain. They're fun, but they're totally stupid. And then after you're done, like, that was fun. I'll never watch that again, but that was fun.
What's one movie that is awful, but you just absolutely love watching it?
Oh no! Oh boy, I got that. But hold on one second. I mean Rob D says that one lighter humor works in a movie like Expendables 2 because the actors probably really just do make fun of each other's movies offset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Quality Autism.
My wife loved the Expendables.
Said the original trilogy brought closure to the original trilogy.
That's true.
He also said that Johnny Depp, I guess he had some problems with depression. That's why the fifth movie sucked or something.
It could have been, but I just don't think the fun factor wasn't there.
Well, I think that those movies relied too heavily on Johnny Depp making things up as he went. Especially later on.
One thing I thought was kind of funny in the fifth film, Paul McCartney was in it from the Beatles. You didn't know that? Oh,
maybe
you
I
haven't
did.
seen it. Sorry, Jeremy.
It's been a while, but maybe I remember that. I just, like I said, I probably need to watch that. I probably need to watch those movies again. It's just that I don't feel like watching them again.
He has a cameo appearance.
Like Heat and The Professional are definitely on my list.
What should be on your list, Matt, is Freddy Got Fingered. Tom Green movie.
I've already seen that before. It's okay.
I've watched since we've went into isolation. I've watched it 6 times.
Here you go. Here's a stupid movie that's fantastic. UHF.
Yes, it is.
It's unbelievably good.
It's not as good as Freddy Got Fingered, though.
Yes, it is better.
Rob D, the question was, what's a movie that's terrible but you love it anyway? And let's see, Yak Face says The Stoned Age is an awful movie that I enjoyed, and Quality Autism loves the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's okay. I think I can beat that.
I'm listening.
Oh boy, it's horrible. I don't know why, but I enjoy watching the fourth Jaws movie.
Wow, the revenge.
Yeah.
The shark roars like a lion.
Yeah.
I love it. And who the guy who was Alfred in the
Michael Caine played a pilot in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing the dancing.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've seen that movie more than once because the missus loves her Jaws and she wants to watch all 4 Jaws movies every summer, and I'll do every other summer with her. Well, we talked about this. Oh, wow. Yeah. I hear the game's really good.
I played a little bit of it with my brother and my nephew.
Two of my friends who have YouTube channels where they review board games are just guffawing over it. They love Jaws.
It's a fun game.
They said it's very thematic. It feels like the movie, and they're just loving it. I want to play it.
It's a really fun game. I think you would enjoy it. Anyway, what was going to be your film, Jeremy? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, go first.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm torn, and I've been talking to Adam about this for like a week or so now, because Glenn Danzig's movie Veronica is so awful.
Boot him.
Funniest things I've
Thank you.
Go watch Veronica. But no, Zardoz, number one. Zardoz is number one in my heart. Because the gun is good and the penis is evil.
Wow.
I knew I was going to get booted again.
Shit.
Hey, I didn't swear. That was Matt. Matt did.
That is true.
Runner-up with Showgirls.
You know,
what was yours? You said yours.
Showgirls. This
don't.
It looks like a nice movie, but it's not. And it's Paul Verhoeven, so I want to love Showgirls, but it's not something I want to watch.
Do you know back then I wanted to see it because what's her name was in it? I thought she was wonderful. I've only seen her in one movie, I think. Gina Gershon.
Oh.
She was the bad guy's girlfriend in Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, right?
When he's dressed as a monk and his head banging.
I can't remember, but I was like, who is that? I thought Gina Gershon was so hot, and then she was in Driven with Sylvester Stallone. She was his girlfriend. She
was in the Steven Seagal movie Out for Justice, where Steven Seagal walks into a bar and he challenges everyone who's Italian to a fight. And he takes a pool ball, he sticks it in a towel, and he starts hitting everyone in the face with it. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like, I will just watch that bar fight. Like, it's in a playlist on YouTube of guilty pleasures I have to watch.
Well, Gina Gershon didn't do that much. I think she was married or hanging out with one of the Owen brothers. Not Luke, but from Shanghai Nights.
Owen.
Tom Cruise.
Owen
Wilson. Yeah.
See, Rob D says he enjoyed Starship Troopers 2. You really have to go into it knowing it's a low budget film.
Oh, but it's so boring.
I saw that and I saw 3, and it was neat that they brought back the guy from.
They brought Casper Van Dien back for 3.
Yeah,
and
literally.
Yeah, in Jaws: The Revenge, like there was actually 2 endings to that. One where the shark gets impaled, and which is the more plausible ending, and there's one where the shark just gets hit by the boat and just blows up for no reason.
I think the logic was they had electrocuted it so many times that it blew up, because they're electrocuted water, and that's why it roars.
I'll be honest. I'll say that I enjoyed 4 over 3.
Yeah, I will agree with you there, because
3 is not as good. But
I have a rant to go on about these films.
Yes.
Okay. In Jaws, the original one, the Brody boys, they're like probably around 12 or 9, 10 years old, correct? And 2 years later, one of them is 17 and the other one's almost like 11 to 12. And then in Jaws 3, in the course of 4 years, they're now 30-year-old men. Think about it.
To its defense, I think time is moving faster. Yes, a good point. That's a good point. But I think time is moving faster, and we're seeing it years later. But I'll be honest. The second one, even though that the main actor Brody did not want to be in that film, he was pissed. He had to be in that film. He delivers. I mean,
great.
He's
all about it
for someone who is pissed. And when they asked him if he wanted to be in Jaws 3, he laughed and hung up the phone.
No, so that it's the same logic as the Friday the 13th 4, 5, and 6, where you have Tommy Jarvis, and Tommy Jarvis is little Corey Feldman in one, and then a couple years later he's an adult, and then another year later he's an even older adult.
I gotta say, in Jaws 2, there's a scene where they're at the courthouse, and he talks about how he knows what a shark looks like because he's like, was this close to one? And he says, and you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through this hell again. And I'm like, he's talking about him being in the movies.
It's funny. You made me think of another movie I need to watch again.
Here you go. Here you go, Jeremy.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys: The Tribe is one of the worst sequels.
No, I don't watch any of that garbage.
I didn't bother with The Thirst, as I recall, because The Tribe was so bad.
The Tribe at the only is the stinger at the end is fun.
But that got cut out of the film when.
It's at the end of the credits.
Oh, you know what it is? It's Corey Haim's a vampire in the deleted scene.
No. It's at the end of the credits.
Oh, in the theatrical cut.
It was after the credits. He sees Corey Haim and he's smiling. He's a vampire now, and they run at each other, and that's the end. And that was the only good thing about the movie.
But it's Lost Boys: The Tribe is like Lost Boys without any of the fun in it, and doubling the angst.
I agree. It was horrible. But wasn't Corey Haim supposed to be in the third one?
Yeah, and he died.
Yeah.
It OD'd.
Yeah.
Before that. Yeah, because they had their reality show, Matt, the two Coreys on MTV.
Right.
Which basically was Corey Feldman trying to take care of Corey Haim, who was completely addicted to drugs, and they decided to make a show about it.
Rob D, I haven't actually seen this film, but the other two may have.
Oh, what? You've never seen the vacation movies?
That's Chevy Chase, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've seen quite a bit of the first one. Never mind.
First one's awesome. I've never seen European Vacation, but
it's good. It's good, but not as good as the first one.
Is this the one where he's holding that security guard up at the theme park up by a BB gun?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
That's the
Okay, it was
first
just a long time ago.
Christmas Vacation 2 is horrible.
It's so horrible. It's good. It's that bad.
Christmas Vacation 2, it's unwatchable.
Okay, I do have to point something out here real quick. In Jaws 3, you guys know the end where he's coming up towards that glass?
Yes.
Okay, go back and watch that. Someone pointed this out and I didn't notice it, but when he crashes into the glass, the shark just stops.
Yes, it does.
Like it's just like standing there while everything else is moving. The shark just stops.
Because they should have cut it before. They didn't have enough room for the prop to move forward enough. It's pretty clear because it's on a blue screen, which makes it even worse looking.
Yeah.
They obviously had it on a track, and then when it hit and like went through the glass, like they should have cut before like it fully went through, but they didn't. So like the effect stops. That's an editing mistake.
Moral of the story is everyone watch the first two Jaws films. The first one most preferably, but
just watch the first one. I mean, the second one's pretty decent, but
if you wanted to watch Jaws with more carnage, just watch Jaws 2. That's like the only thing like I recommend if you're gonna watch Jaws 2. It's just a more graphic Jaws.
I heard this before that Jaws 2, which was originally going to be a prequel, and it was going to be about Quint and his time in the Navy.
That would be early pre-production if that
I was going to say, that monologue he does about being on the USS Indianapolis. That was going to be the movie about him.
What would they? They wouldn't have called it Jaws 2. They would call it Jawses.
Jawses, yeah.
I just want to know when my Tremors 7 is coming out. I'm very excited for this movie. I hope the editing was finished. I hope we're just waiting for it to come because this is a time where we're all in a state of, we got high anxiety, we're panicked. We need that comforting movie of Burt Gummer hunting down graboids. Someone get Tremor 7 going. Come on, let's do this. We need to get this out.
I'm on board with that.
Like that awful. Remember they were talking. They had like that trailer for the Kevin Bacon show.
Yes,
they wanted that because it broke continuity.
And it's stupid because why can't he just be a part of the original or the ongoing movies? Because they're great. They're great.
Because it's Kevin Bacon's ego won't allow it.
I know, but to be honest, they're happy to keep making them. That's the thing. Those movies are making money on direct to DVD and stuff because people like me will buy them the moment they come out. I don't even watch those. I buy them. I don't wait till Redbox or anything. Those things are going to be bought. I mean, 6 is just a disaster, but I'm still ready to watch 7. I'm still hoping for good stuff because it's just great slot. And Tremors 2 is better than the original.
The thing The thing with Kevin Bacon, going back to that and his ego and stuff, he barely does anything anymore. And when he does something, it's crap. Do you remember it was the late 2000s? It was the director of Saw and the writer of Death Wish decided they were going to make a movie together, and they called it Death Sentence. It was basically Death Wish, but starring Kevin Bacon. And like he goes around beating people to death with a baseball bat, and it had the gore of Saw. That was like its whole drawing thing. It's the strangest movie. And it is this horribly, horribly violent post 9/11-esque movie. And Kevin Bacon's son is killed with a machete in front of him, like his teenage son, at like a gas station. It is so over the top.
Rob D asked the easiest question in the world. I got a good movie series where the best was a second movie. I just said Tremors 2, but if you want another one, Terminator 2, just barely, and Aliens.
Yeah. Oh no, I just
Spider-Man 2.
Aliens.
Spider-Man 2.
Good, but Alien is a masterpiece in atmosphere.
Alien is fantastic. Aliens is better. Terminator is unbelievable. And Terminator 2 just barely beats it. Yeah, I agree with both of those.
But if you want a good Alien movie score, you know which one's the best, Matt? Alien 3. Go and listen to that score. Don't watch the movie because the movie's crap. And that score is so good it has no business being in that movie. But listen to the score.
I'll go even further. What's the number 3 that was better? There's 2 of them, in my opinion. Toy Story 3, which was better than the first 2, and John Wick 3. You're welcome.
Oh, geez. 3 movies. Geez, I have no idea.
That's even harder to go a trilogy with it.
Be a troll and say Halloween 3.
Can you boot him again? Thank you. Actually, Jeremy, I love Halloween 3. My wife,
more than 2.
Every other year we watch through all the Halloweens together, and I put on Halloween 3, and my wife does not watch it. She walks out of the room. She won't watch that movie. She thinks that movie's stupid. And I was like, no, it's fun. All the kids die at the end.
In it, and he's wonderful. And that's another one where John Carpenter did the score for Halloween 3. That's like his one contribution to it. And that is the best Halloween score.
Okay, I'm going to steal one from Quality Odds. Well, I'm not going to steal. I'm just going to borrow it. Logan. And the Wolverine movies, Logan was the best.
Yeah. The first one's not even a movie, though. We've discussed this before.
That was that the third movie that came out?
Fourth. It was the
Wolverine
third.
Origins, Wolverine.
And then
Logan.
And then Logan. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, Logan transcends comic book movies.
And Quality Autism also read the third novelization, of Halloween 3.
Oh, I forgot there is one.
Hey, Matt, I was going to show you something. You said your wife liked Jaws.
Yeah.
Here you go. You should find her this and buy it for her.
No way. I should have known.
It's got the tank in the mouth and everything.
That's funny.
There's also one where it has Quint in his mouth. It's all bloody and everything.
That's great.
That's nasty.
Great.
I love it.
Now, is there a movie? I can't like a series where the fourth one was the best. I'm trying to think. Fourth fits it. The only thing that would come close would be Rocky Balboa, which is probably my favorite Rocky.
Yeah, that's the 6th movie.
And that's a 6th movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the only one. But there's not that many that have gone past 3 that you would say, wow, that would. I think Die Hard 4 was a solid film, but it doesn't beat Die Hard 1 or 3.
Oh, not even close.
I don't even think it beats 2. I think it's a step below 2, but it's still a good film.
I wouldn't even say it's a mediocre film unless you watch the unrated cut.
I think Terminator Salvation was a fun film. It's not better than 1 or 2.
Terminator Salvation has a neat premise, but is super bland. It has really stupid things in it.
Bride of Chucky. Nice try.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, go ahead.
What's one movie that everyone loves but you hate? Like,
Oh, didn't we ask this? Oh yeah, we asked this in Geek Statics channel, but we can do it again.
Yeah, I think we already talked about this.
have we? Okay.
I did a podcast, I believe, on this too, just recently.
I gotta listen to that. I've been meaning to.
Yeah.
Better have done that because I suggested you do that like 2 months ago.
Well, that's because the guy who was supposed to do it with me, this whole thing happened, and we got delayed a few weeks because he was busy, and then we were going to do it the next week, and that's when they shut the whole state down, and so we haven't been able to do it. So I just went ahead and did it this month, just because I've been advertising it for the longest. So
I think mine was the one that I can think of was everyone that I know loved the second Fantastic Beasts movie, but I didn't like it.
That's not a movie. It's just garbage. Both those movies are garbage.
There's something else that I was
I'm
also
serious. They are some of the most boringest movies I've ever seen.
what movie did I see with? Oh, that guy from Fantastic Beasts was in Les Mis.
Oh yeah,
The one with
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman in it. I didn't
The
realize.
one where they zoom in on everyone's teeth, and Sacha Baron Cohen's the only one with a French accent in the movie. When it's supposed to take place in France.
You know what? I actually like that film.
I don't. It's got the worst cinematography I've seen in an A-list.
I think it's a fun film, and it got me singing Les Mis for like 2 weeks. Because I used to love that show, and I just love that. And I'm sure there's better ones because I know they've done this a million times. Wasn't Jean-Luc Picard in one?
Yeah, Liam Neeson was Jean Valjean.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
and
it was.
Uma Thurman was. Oh gosh,
Was that one good?
I don't care for it. It's okay.
Did they sing the whole time in that one too?
No. The only one they sing in is the one with Hugh Jackman and
Shut up.
Russell.
So is that?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, the train makes its cameo.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Polly Autism says he doesn't dislike it, but at first he didn't like The Godfather.
I mean, I saw Godfather too young and didn't get it, but I was like 8.
You know, that's actually one of the. There was a guy at my old job. He asked me to play on the piano all the time the Godfather waltz, and every time I would play that just to see if he'd be there, he'd pop out of nowhere and be like with a thumbs up and everything, and I'd be like, "There he is."
I'm gonna add this to my watch list.
Let's see. Spider-Man: Homecoming. I should have listened to myself when I said my nostalgia for Tobey Maguire won't let me enjoy it.
It's if it wasn't for Michael Keaton, it wouldn't be a good movie.
Oh, speaking of Michael Keaton, you know how in The Dark Knight, Harvey Dent says, "You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain."
Yeah.
It shows a meme that shows Michael Keaton as Batman, says you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And it shows him as the Vulture.
But I know my most overrated, like I consider it like absolutely overrated and awful, is The Departed.
The Departed.
Mainly because it's some of the worst Boston accents I've ever heard from people from Boston. Where it's like Martin Scorsese, even though he lives on the East Coast and is from like New York, and I'm sure he's heard Boston people many a time, is like, can you bring out more of the Boston in you? So then like Martin Sheen's doing it, and it's like talking about the microprocessors, and like just everyone's an awful character except for Martin Sheen, who gets thrown off a building. It is adorable little windbreaker because they got him from the old folks home that day.
I think for movies that everybody else I know likes that I hated, as of recently, was the live action of Aladdin. I didn't like it. I
yet to see it. I was just glad that Robin Williams wasn't in motion capture.
That was the only that was the thing that I was worried about hating the most was Will Smith as Genie, but he actually was the best part the movie.
It's just like, Matt, you scoff, but I wouldn't put it past Disney to do things like that.
Do you know that
Carrie Fisher twice, and she was alive for one of them.
Did you know? Do you know a movie that actually surprised me? Megan made me watch it just a few nights ago. Onward.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good movie. I
don't know what that is.
Onward is the movie that was bombing in theaters before the crisis. It went straight to Disney Plus, and you're thinking, oh, well, then that's going to be a dumb movie or a sucky movie, and it was actually pretty good.
It has Tom Holland and Chris Pratt and Jeremy. They play brothers, and they're on this. It's about like if mystical characters like elves and trolls and satyrs and everything existed in today's world.
Huh.
It's actually really good. I think you would like it.
Okay. Remember those Narnia movies?
Hey, the BBC ones are a blast.
Those, those are movies. I'm talking about when Disney owned the rights to Narnia for a hot minute, and they made two really terrible ones. Then sold.
Please quit talking. I don't want to hear about that. They were horrible.
Remember in Prince Caspian when they decided that Susan and Caspian needed to make out for some reason?
That's so dumb. Please stop. Blasphemy. Here, folks. If you want to try some good undiscovered movies, Equilibrium is actually a pretty good film.
Yeah.
Cube is an excellent film.
With Cube, you need to. I need to preference this though by saying the acting is a little sketchy in Cube, but the premise outdoes the acting.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Don't watch the sequels to Cube.
Let's see.
No, don't watch the sequels.
They did it. With they did the motion capture with Peter Cushing.
Yeah. They've done that twice. George Lucas CG'd him in Revenge of the Sith.
What was that Will Smith / David Ayer movie called that flopped horribly?
The Gemini Man? That was a bad Will Smith movie.
Tom Holland really can't catch a break. Everything he's in besides MCU flops. Yeah, I think Onward, it wasn't really because it was a bad movie. It was because of the virus and no one could go see it. But
maybe so, but it was pretty solid. I was really impressed, surprised.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I was surprised that it bombed, or that it didn't do so well. I mean,
it wasn't doing well when it came out. I don't think it was just getting that traction because, to be honest, I saw the trailer and I was like, I don't want to see this. It looks dumb, but it's actually really good and has a little heart to it, and just an overall fun film. It's hard to find, like, let me see, what's another good one, undiscovered or forgotten good one? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I know.
Yeah, that's a fantastic film.
It's a fantastic film. Jim Carrey, who is not funny in it, is fantastic. That's actually my favorite Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah, sorry, quality autism. That was what you
were.
Sorry.
Are you sure that's a guy in prosthetics? Because it looks like a cartoon on the Blu-ray.
On what?
When Tarkin's on the bridge in Revenge of the Sith, when Palpatine and Vader are overlooking the Death Star, Tarkin's on the bridge with them and like walks away. He's there for like a couple seconds. And I've always assumed it's a CG face because
they did
it with who played Dooku? Christopher Lee in the distant shots when he's dueling like Hayden Christensen in Attack of the Clones. That's his face CG'd onto his stunt double, which you can note is disgusting to look at on the Blu-ray. Like, it is just an awful effect. But like, I've just assumed that Tarkin was the same way in that, and that it looked bad, and that's why it's like kind of out of focus and like is only there for a couple seconds.
Way of the Gun, if I'm kind of making suggestions.
Yeah.
Great film. Forgotten, great film. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, you know one that I really love, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. I don't know how people are going to see that one, but it's on the level of The Usual Suspects.
Oh, you've talked about this one before, yeah.
It's a Kiefer Sutherland's in it, and it's a younger Kiefer Sutherland, mid 30s or something like that, and he's still kind of young and kind of punkish. And this group of bad guys take over a family's RV, and they're on the run. And I don't want to spoil it, but Kiefer Sutherland is spinning a quarter, and he believes that if you can get the quarter to stay on its side, you can read people's minds. If you're that talented, you'll have the power to read. And it's so weird. And then later on, that comes into play later on, where you don't know if something happens or not this way, but for some reason, it's just such a good film. And I found it at a grocery store that had a video rental place that was going out of business and was selling their stock. And I bought it for like $1. And I was like, shut up. Because, you couldn't find that movie anywhere back in the day. And so I have it. And I need to watch that again. That's an undiscovered classic I think people would love to see. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I didn't want to.
No. That's what I want to hear. Forgotten Treasures.
Well, I had a different question, but go ahead and finish.
Oh, no. Please. If you have any Forgotten Treasures, real quick.
I do. I have one that I just remembered. It's not the best movie, but it's an interesting one. Do you remember that era in like the late 90s when Stallone's career was in the trash?
Are you going to say cliffhanger?
He made Copland, for instance, to try to bring back his career.
Okay.
He did a suspense movie called I See You. That, like, I know it's like you've probably never heard of it. It is literally, there's this serial killer and they're in like the middle of this snowstorm and he's killing everyone like one at a time. And it's like it connected to his past and stuff. It's a weird movie, but like he actually acts well in it. And it's like a miracle.
Is it better than Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
I think anything is better than Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Except for maybe, what was Spy Kids 3D?
No, what was the one? What's the arm wrestling movie?
Over the Top, where he's arm wrestling for his kid's child support.
It's great.
That's a Roger Corman movie.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Okay,
that bankrupted Canon Pictures.
Great.
Go ahead.
No, Brian. Adam. What's your next question?
Well, my hidden treasure is it's a really old movie, and I think I really love this movie, and I think everyone should watch it. It's called 12 Angry Men.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of my favorite movies.
People really need to watch that movie. I think it's great.
I've never seen it. I need to because they're wanting to do the play here.
My friend was in the play, but it was one of those where they casted women and men, and they called it 12 Angry Jurors. But it was
to do that in community theater a lot of the time.
The play was good, except the guy that was playing the guy that was defending the accused. He was reading his script the whole time, and he was passing it off as if he was taking notes down on the case. But you could tell, like in some the way he was, like he's reading his script.
That's bad.
But I was gonna ask. This is a kind of a weird question, but what was your favorite movie rental place growing up? There was like Blockbuster. There was Family
Video, Suncoast Video.
Hollywood Video, Family Video. I think that's a more recent one, but
Movie Gallery.
My favorite.
We had one called Video Giant.
Mm-hmm. We had a mom and pop type place. I can't remember the name of it.
There was a Blockbuster that. Oh, rats! That's my girls.
I hear.
I'm gonna have to go, but there was a Blockbuster that the manager was so cool. We got along well. I'd say that one maybe, but there's also one in like a really hick part of town And the lady and I just connected to, I'd rent cheesy horror movies. And she loved that I loved the cheesy horror movie. We sit there and talk. I had won a radio show. Bruce had actually won it. I was his roommate, and he had won this radio show. We got free rentals for the whole year, one rental a week. So I would go out to Balkanville, which is redneck city, and I would just get it from her. But we had a good time. Well, when I used my last ticket, she went, "Does this mean you're not coming back?" I went, "No, I'll come back." And I was like, "I'm not coming back." She went, "Well, please do." She went, "I'll give you a free rental. We'll do rent one, get one free for you." Because she just really loved me. I was like, "Sure, yeah." And I never came back. I felt bad. But I did enjoy renting from her because we would just talk about the next horror movie that I just saw. And it was great. This was awesome. Did you see Pumpkinhead? Oh, yeah, I did. It was great, you know. And we're just talking about, and that one has a little special place in my heart. But the Blockbuster that we had around the corner was really good. Those people were really nice. And, you know, some people just worked at Blockbuster. They didn't care about you. This manager was always super happy to see you, to give you movie suggestions. What do you like? And she could range your taste. Like she suggested, well, I thought was a terrible movie. I said, "Why'd you suggest it?" She went, "Well, you look at the movies that they were talking about, and that's a movie that would be right up their alley." She went, "I don't like the movie, but I know people who love these movies also like this movie." And, I mean, she was right. And that's what you need. And they hired people who really loved movies. They were a serious Blockbuster, and not all Blockbusters were uncaring and everything. This one was really nice. And when Blockbuster was getting massive closures, it was the last one. And no, not the last one. It was the second to last one, but she was doing specials every day. She was getting a free, box of candy with a rental or something. And she was like, "Hey guys, thanks for supporting us. I want you to know there's only 2 Blockbusters in our area now, and we are they tell us we need to get more traffic in here. So if you could tell your friends, tell anyone." This is back before social media was a thing, but she was just trying. Everyone going in there, please tell a friend, please tell them to come in here and rent from us. We're trying to keep these doors open, and we need your help. We want to do this and one. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I was coming like as much as I could to rent movies, but you can't rent movies all the time. And they eventually closed down, but they saved her and moved her over to the last Blockbuster in our town. And then they finally closed out. But we still have a video rental place in town. I thought they were closed.
Yeah,
but
we have one too.
And they still have new prices. They still have $5 for new releases. I was like, how do you people survive with Redbox in your world? But they still don't go down their prices. But because, we live in a world where most of these people here in my town have VHSs, I guess that's why we still have a video rental place. Yeah. And we're happy about it. My wife and I got a membership a long time ago, but because it's on the other side of it's across town, we never go. And the thing is, though, why would we pay $5 when we can rent it for Redbox for $1? There's no need for them. But
at my job, since I work, I can say it now, since I don't really work there anymore, and I don't think we'll go back into business. I worked at a thrift store for 4 years, and you'd have people on senior day. We sold VHS 3 for $1. And say they would come and buy like 12 movies like once a month. They'd watch all those movies. They donate them back, then go back in the store and buy some more. Because they're like, we've just given up on new releases because we don't want to get a DVD player. And I'm like, are you sure? I sell them for $8. But they would buy, like their VCRs would like die on them. We sold those for like $6 a piece.
My wife still has her DVD VHS player, the dual one.
Oh, yeah.
She will. That's the last. Since they don't make VCRs anymore.
No, they don't.
That's the last one that we have that works, and she will not let it go because she still loves it. Look at that. Yeah.
No, the thing is with VHS, not all VHSs were transferred to DVD.
Right. Just like tapes and records.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those children albums that I loved. That's why I got my record player, because my record player, all those old Alvin and the Chipmunks albums were never converted digitally.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the other stuff I used to listen to as a kid, it was not converted over digitally. So if I want to listen to it, it's on record. And I think we've talked about this before, but I love Christmas records. I just love the old. Yeah. You get what's his name? Perry Como. Oh, he is Christmas, but when he's on vinyl, it just digital is, yes, it sounds the best, but vinyl has that scratchy.
It's an organic thing, because I agree, vinyl is the best way to listen to music.
It is. It's so nice. It's so nice. And I love, around Christmas, the record player is always going, and I should have the record player going more often. I used to play little songs, little chipmunk songs for the girls and everything, but I need to play more of those because my records, I love them. But a lot of them are children records, because a lot of the stuff you can get now on digital, but this is the stuff you can't. And that's the stuff I want to look for.
I can actually see you like playing records, like sitting in a chair, like a cup of coffee and reading your book.
Honestly, listening to, I was writing a draft for what I'm going to give to you in a month for the expanded universe.
Yeah.
Write a draft of that. The only reason I got through this draft, because it was unbearable, like work that they want for like the school portion of it that I'm going to retool and give you for the site. I was listening to so much 70s stuff, like just records. I probably went through 12 albums today.
Wow.
Just like typing this thing out.
Yeah, I can't listen to music unless it's like I can't, and read at the same time. I can't do that unless it's like soundtrack music or music with no words. That's the only time I can read to it. But I usually don't read with listening to music. Usually just focus on the reading. And man, I did, like I said, I'm this close. Like if I hadn't done this, I would have finished Crossroads of Twilight tonight. But this was worth it. But tomorrow morning I'll finish Crossroads of Twilight, and I'll head on into Knife of Dreams. So, but it's just getting, like I said, when cleaning, the hardest part is starting. Reading a book, the hardest part of reading a book is starting. Once you read into it, I was just talking to a friend of mine tonight. She listens to a lot of audiobooks. She's like, well, I can give you this on audio. I was like, to be honest, I don't have the time right now, but I prefer books. I thought you had them on books. You can bring the books. I appreciate her loaning me the audio. But I was like, and a lot of people do audio, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But I prefer, yeah, I know, but I prefer reading the book.
No, I do too. But my thing right now is audiobook equals like getting chores done.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And like tonight, I'll probably be up another 2 hours because it's almost 11 now. Yeah, I usually go to bed at 1 now. Oh. So I'll put on Dr. Sleep and probably finish that up tonight.
That's a great choice to go to sleep.
Oh, dude, you have no idea the amount of that book's gnarly. You're forewarned.
The girl I was talking to tonight, she told me that Dr. Sleep is her favorite.
I think it might be my favorite as well.
I have the book over there. I just haven't
read it. But I literally, I started it immediately after reading The Shining. I forgot how modern Stephen King's nastier than classic Stephen King. Mm-hmm. It was like post it, he got like gross and like in the he was hitting the trifecta of things I hate in his books that I don't think I can say one of them on here, but that was happening, and like children were involved, and it was just, and that was the first 3 chapters. And so like I had to set it down. I had to vent to Adam because I was like so like horrified. Yeah. And then I went back and I've been enjoying it since then.
See, I had both a Blockbuster and Hollywood Video in town. If one of them didn't have the other, I remember not understanding why so many cases had a bunny on in one section. And then let's see. Oh, I like this one.
So in my town, we didn't have any. None of the video stores had an adult section.
Mine maybe did a little. One of the Blockbusters maybe had an adult section a long time ago, or movie galleries. I can't remember. But the one thing that one of them had a long time ago, they had the Faces of Death videos to rent. If you don't know what I'm talking about, those are video footage of real life deaths and accidents.
Oh yeah. And
it was unbelievable because they have suicides and everything. They'll show people die and everything.
Oh my God.
And you watched, I think the first one didn't have that much into it, but then the second, third, fourth, they have like 9 of those or something, or 15. But I remember it was like, oh my gosh. And so we watched them back in the day, but I was like,
it sounds like
I mean, they're showing burn victims at the scene and stuff, walking away. Their hands are melted off, and everything. They're screaming. You're like, oh my gosh, it's not acting. It's just one thing after the other. And those are just wild movies. Documentaries or whatever they're called. And I remember after we were watching them, and the last one we watched had to do with animals. I don't really care about pets, but I did not like seeing some people in another country who gave us coronavirus eat dog and cat and show them killing them. I was like, it's weird, but that's weird because like out of all the deaths and dismemberments and stuff you see, the one with animals is like, I can't, whoa, that's just, it's getting too brutal. And I was like, oh man. Well, we said, well, we're glad that's the last one. Well, then I went back I was the guy that went out and got the movies. Well, I got it back and put it in, and the guy stopped me. He said, hey, look, I got to be honest with you, man. He said, we don't rent these out. He said, and my boss wants to get rid of them, and you're the only person who's rented them. And if you want them, we'll sell them to you for like really cheap. I was like, why would I want these movies? And then I was like, I'm the only one that's rented them. I was embarrassed. I was like, I'm never coming back here again. They probably think I'm some psycho.
The only thing I've watched that comes close to that is the Red Letter Media reviewed Surviving Edged Weapons is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I have sat and watched the whole thing. And they have all the autopsy footage, which is like hard to look at.
I mean, that was some rough stuff. Oh, is that what they're calling?
Stuff films, yeah.
I mean, that was some rough stuff. And can you believe that was for rent at the video rental?
Yeah, those are very controversial at the time. My dad told me about those like years ago.
Speaking of, you were talking about how like they would talk about the animals and everything. Like, I was driving down to Roswell, New Mexico one time, and me and my wife passed this giant land that had thousands of cattle on it. And then my wife and we were just like, I wonder why there's so many cattle. And we just keep driving. And my wife was vegetarian at the time, so I'm just like, just don't look, honey. Just don't
look. At the flowers. Look at the flowers. That's what they tell the cattle. So, anyway, did any of y'all were younger, did you watch these We Sing videos?
No.
My little sister did. They're We Sing videos. They sing little children's rhymes, and they have a little adventures, live action, people in suits and big bear costumes and stuff like that. And anyway, the rights got bought by Sony. They did an Avengers style movie where they brought all the all-star characters and some of the original actors back for one big final adventure. And the reason I say this, I was thinking about this because I told my sister this the other day. I was telling her about it. She's like, I never heard about this. I was like, yeah, they made one called We Sing Them, and it's like all the characters from all the shows, and they all come back and they do this one all-star cast. She went, what? I went, yeah, it's like the Avengers for We Sing. I didn't know if y'all had seen those because y'all are closer to her age. And
no, because you know how I don't like singing in films. That was a thing when I was a little kid too. I've never liked singing in any sort of thing. The only musical I like is Singing in the Rain, and that's because it's about like it's the subject matter I find fascinating. The switch to talkies.
If you can watch it, if you can find it, How to Succeed is actually a really fun musical, 60s musical. Did you watch Mad Men?
I've seen some Mad Men.
Oh,
it's just something I don't. With TV shows, it's hard for me to commit to it because I'm not.
One of the actors from Mad Men, who's an old man in Mad Men, he was a young man back then, and he plays the lead, Robert Morse.
Oh, okay.
And he's just fantastic in the film, and the whole film is so much fun. The music's fun too. It's done a little bit differently than things were done back in the day. Back in the day when it got to be a musical, they had a stage all of a sudden for the music because they wanted to give that Broadway feel. And
yeah, it's very goofy and weird.
Yeah. And this one, they keep it all in the building, in the universe. It doesn't go off on a stage when the big numbers come on. They keep it all in the building. He wanted to do a little bit more realistic musical or whatever. And it's the only film that stars the original cast from the Broadway musical. Usually they'd recast them with stars.
Yeah. Oh, that's bizarre because the only one I could think of is most of the cast comes back for the movie of Rent. If you've seen Rent, that's
Oh,
most
no.
of the original Broadway cast, except for the actress
Yes.
that Mimi is a Hollywood actress.
Yes, the actor does in Mad Men. He does a song and dance number during his exit from the series, and that was done on purpose because he's musically talented from How Succeed.
The other musical, now that I think about it, have you ever seen A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum?
No.
Which it's basically they took ancient Roman comedies and made them into a musical in the 60s. And it's bizarre. It's a funny movie. It has a young Michael Crawford who ended up playing the original Phantom in Phantom of the Opera, the Broadway show. That's like its other noteworthy thing, and he's like 19 in it, which is interesting. It's a goofy movie, but it's a great representation if you're into like historical theater. It's a good representation of Roman comedies and the original stock characters. And Quality Autism, no, I've never seen Exploding Varmints because I've been varmint haunting, so I don't see a point to it. So I lived it. Not that fun.
Man.
I'm trying to
find the other day, Megan and I were trying to find a baseball movie, and I saw this one with Nick Nolte. Yep, Nick Nolte. And it's called Off the Black. And I remember loving it. And I couldn't find it on streaming or anything. So I was disappointed. Go ahead.
When I was a kid, my favorite baseball movie, believe it or not, was Angels in the Outfield.
I mean, my favorite baseball movie is The Sandlot.
Oh, that too. I love The Sandlot.
Not The Sandlot 3 Heading Home.
I hate sequels sometimes.
Have you all heard the premise of Sandlot 3 where which one's the kid that actually became a baseball star and played in the MLB?
In the first movie.
Hit over the head and he goes back in time to find his youth, and hangs out with the kids. That's Sandlot 3, and it's awful.
Shut up. Off the Black is on Amazon Prime. That is done.
Have you seen A League of Their Own?
Yes. It's been a while.
Okay.
That's Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the whole thing. The only part of the movie that I've seen is where this kid is just harassing Tom Hanks, and he just takes off his glove and just chucks it at him. And then it's just like celebrating that he just knocked out this kid with a baseball glove.
I'll be honest, sports movies, unless it's like a fighting sport movie, I have not seen a whole lot of them. I've seen Remember the Titans several times. The movie's awesome. And I've seen Radio, but that's not really a sports movie.
Do not watch The Slugger's Wife. It is as awful as the real Atlanta Braves were in the 80s.
How old are you? How do you know that? He's correct. He's correct. The Braves were America's team, and they sucked. That is a funny reference.
Man, we're talking...
Matt?
I've been wanting to tell you and Dylan this because I know you guys like baseball. Man, I'm so mad with our minor league team we have out here in the city because we originally called the Red Hawks. And I love that name because it was like our own unique name. And then the Dodgers, they got bought. Our team got bought. And they're now called the Oklahoma City Dodgers. I'm like, no.
All right. We were the Chico Heat for our minor league team when I was a little kid. Then we didn't have a minor league team. Then they came back as the Chico Outlaws. Then that died. Ran out of money, and now we're the Chico Heat again for nostalgic purposes.
Me and my wife took me, my wife took me to a baseball game for one of our anniversaries, and there was a foul ball, and the player just grabbed it and he tossed it to us, and we were so we texted a picture of us holding that baseball to her dad, and her dad was being sarcastic. He was like, "Wow, you caught a foul ball at a baseball game. That never happens." I'm just like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I like baseball too. I'm more of a casual fan. I'm an A's fan. I actually got to see the A's play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last year. My dad's law firm had like this whole catering event. I've never been to a sporting event like this where we were in like VIP seating and they like cooked us like a 3-course meal. And we watched the game. I got horribly sunburned to the point where I was dark red because I didn't wear sunscreen. And you can tell from my ghostly complexion that went over really well.
That's funny.
It's funny we're talking about baseball. My mom and I were watching a bunch of old baseball fights. Those are funny to watch sometimes, actually. I mean,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, well, actually, it's not really funny that they're fighting. It's just more like I told I was actually last year when we went to see the game, just like, oh, baseball players can be brutal because sometimes the batter will or the pitcher will intentionally try to hit the batter because they don't want them to hit the ball, and then the batter will run out there and just beat the crap out of the pitcher. Have you guys ever seen that happen?
Yeah, I've actually seen that in high school games too.
What were we gonna say, Matt?
No, I was gonna say. Oh no, I forgot it. You said what again? Help me. Remind me. See, we were talking about. Back up a minute. Oh no, what was I gonna tell you?
Baseball, foul balls,
Balls.
Baseball. I lost it.
The Atlanta Braves being a bad team.
No. I can't remember. Oh, doggone it. Sorry.
Musicals.
No. It's fine. It was something that he was talking about that reminded me, and then I started listening to you. It happens. That's what I get for listening to what you were saying.
You're welcome.
I don't listen to myself. I stopped listening to myself. It's gone. I can't remember.
Well, guys, I think it's about time for me to wrap this up. It's getting pretty late.
Yeah, getting pretty late. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Sorry I missed you in the last live stream, but thank you guys so much for coming on. And yeah, be sure to go check out Matt at Matt Wilkins channel, and go check out Jeremy at Super Chainsaw Productions. And
yeah, join me for my live Q&A tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, he has a live Q&A tomorrow. Be sure to go check that out.
Which I'm pretty sure Matt will then schedule a live stream to contradict that.
No, I will not. Shut up. It happened just once. I didn't know you were on.
No, he'll just get on the comments and then talk about Care Bears for the whole time, you know.
Yeah, it's better than the Gummy Bears potluck.
Anyway.
Well, thank you guys so much. And thank you guys so much for joining us in the comments. And we will see you guys later. You guys have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.